Vancha kalpas turbias cha, kripa sindubhyeva cha, patitanam bhavanabhyo, vaishnavabhyo namo namaha. Om gyantirmandasya gyanjana salakya, chakshur militam yena, tashmai shri gurave namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you, all you beautiful, wonderful devotees, brothers, sisters, cousins, aunties, uncles. I suppose I'm old enough to say some daughters and sons, maybe. Gosh. And this is on day 4 of our Raj Mandal Parikarama 2020. I'm very happy. This is feels like it's building some beautiful momentum collectively with Sripad Bhaktivedanta Nemi Maharaja's classes daily, and then listening to that is real nectar. And then so kindly we have Sripad Bhaktivedanta Nemi Maharaj speaking a couple of times a week to make it even more relishable, and Shamarani Didi and Sripad Bhaktivedanta Bhaktivedanta Ashram Maharaj, and also Sripad Bhaktivedanta Bhagavat Maharaj, as well as Sripad Bhaktivedanta Nemi Maharaj as well. So just as a reminder, tomorrow's is also at 6 p.m. and then Thursday and Friday is at 12:30 p.m. UK time. And please offer your questions. It says in Shastra that the Guru is, even his words are even more relishable when the disciples' questions are relishable. So our offering, as well as hearing the Harikatha, which is beautiful, is sumptuous questions for Maharaj to answer. So Maharaj will be speaking for half an hour, or yeah, there'll be less questions today probably, because it depends, see how long we can go. But Maharaj, you're on at 7, aren't you, with your Russian disciples? Yeah, okay. So Maharaj will probably speak for up to half an hour, and then there'll be a few questions after that. Margie, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for everybody's patience in our late start due to some technical problems. Hare Krishna.
Margie, you're just going to have to unmute. We can't hear you.
Gyantimirandhasya Gyananjana Shlakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Gurudev Ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai, Shri Rupananda Guru Bhargava Ki Jai. So I've been given the impossible task of glorifying Seva-kunja, Radha-Damodara, Imlitala, and Srngara-vata in half an hour. You do the math. It may be possible to visit all of them jointly in the morning, but to glorify them in half an hour is impossible. Anyway, let's see what we can do. First of all, yeah, I'm really sorry. I have pictures on my computer, but the computer's not connecting up. So what to do? First of all, I'll start at Radha-Damodara because Srila Gurudev would, before we started Damodar Vrat, he would go to Sri Radha-Damodara temple with all the devotees. Every time before he gave Harikatha, he would recite the verse for Sri Radha-Damodara. How's that start? Angasyamalimachidabhirapito mandikritandivaram Radha skanda niveshito chalapujam Jaye mara damodaram. And we go to Radha-Damodara. It's such a rich place, Radha-Damodara temple. My Guru Maharaj said it's the hub of the universe. Sri Rup Goswami lived there with Shijiv Goswami. Shijiv Goswami, he was editing Sri Rupa Goswami's books. And then later on, living there, worshipping Radha-Damodara deities. The original deities have gone to Jaipur, but there's a whole lineup on the altar, actually. And my Guru Maharaj also lived in Radha-Damodara temple, preparing to go to America. And Srila Gurudev used to visit him there. Srila Gurudev said my Guru Maharaj was so materially impoverished, he didn't even have a chadar. Srila Gurudev would bring his own chadar with him, and he'd put chadar on the ground and they'd sit on it and discuss Harikatha. Somebody asked Gurudev, what did you talk about with Swamiji? He said, oh, Prahlad Charitra, which I think was a joke. Anyway, so Srila Gurudev described how they would cook prasad together, and my Guru Maharaj would roll out the chapatis and Gurudev would put them on the fire and puff them up. And at Prabhupada's disappearance in Varshana, the first year we gathered around Gurudev, I recited that and I said, I think they're still doing that today. Means Prabhupada is preparing the chapatis and then Srila Gurudev is putting on the fire and cooking them up. Srila Rupa Goswami resided there. He's not founder Acharya, but we are trying to be Rupanuga. Means following Rupa Goswami and following Rupa Manjari. So Rupa Goswami's Bhajan Kutir is there, if you can find it in the concrete jungle they've made there now. And Sri Rupa Goswami's Samadhi also. Both of them are there. It's a very, very sacred, beautiful home place. Really home place. There's a hole in the ground there where Shri Jiv Goswami used to wash his lotus feet. People taking dust and it's got excavated to about 2 meters down. People taking the dust away with them. And there's what to say? My Guru Maharaj was preparing there. Babaji Maharaj was there, Hridayananda Goswami. He was living just next door, and he said that late at night he heard crying. So he went out to see, and my Guru Maharaj was sweeping late at night, sweeping and sweeping in the area around the samadhis there, and crying, "Oh Gurudev, Gurudev, you give me such a difficult job. What to do? What to do?" And Mula Prakriti recounted to me a pastime. I think it didn't get into the book that she created. But Srila Prabhupada, every day, he used to perform Parikarama in Radha-Damodara temple and then offer flowers at the Pushpa Samadhi of his Guru Maharaj. Obviously, this was years after his Guru Maharaj passed away. So one day he came around, he offered Pushpa at the Pushpa Samadhi, and then when he got up, his Guru Maharaj was there. And Srila Saraswati Prabhupada said, "Why are you still here? Why haven't you gone? All the preparations have been made, they're waiting." So after that, my Guru Maharaj made preparations as much as he could. One local milkman used to deliver milk. So one day he came and the door was locked. He said, "Oh, where's Swamiji? Oh, didn't you know? He's gone to America." Years later, I think it was that milkman or another associate, somebody who'd been with Prabhupada before he went. He was on the Parikarama marg and he saw a big group of Western devotees, and there was Prabhupada in the middle. "Oh, Swamiji." And Srila Prabhupada called him over and he introduced him. He said, "He was my friend at time of need when I didn't have any friends. And Prabhupada had a necklace of semi-precious jewels, and he took off the necklace and gave it to this devotee. And he made it earrings for his wife. Gurudev was so grateful. Prabhupada is so grateful. Any service that we do. So Radha-Damodara. The 6 Goswamis used to gather there and they would hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And it was said that, at least on one occasion, they were all in ecstasy. Sometimes Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, he would sing the Bhagavatam verses so sweetly. He was always in bhav. And everyone was in ecstasy except for Sri Rupa Goswami. He wasn't showing any ecstasy at all. He was completely motionless. And then they saw he wasn't breathing. They put some vat, some cotton wool under his nostrils, and it burst into fire. It was so deep ecstasy. We could go on for ages. I've seen Srila Gurudev, he was glorifying Srila Jiva Goswami, broke down in tears. So many great Vaishnavas there, so many Samadhis there. Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami, Pushpa Samadhi, our Gurudev, Pushpa Samadhi, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Samadhi, Srila Bhakti, Srila Jiva Goswami, his Samadhi is there, and Pushpa Samadhi for Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So we offer our obeisances in the dust of that beautiful place, wonderful place. Srila Prabhupada wrote that this is such a special place. He said, I'm receiving the mercy of the 6 Goswamis, and especially amongst those 6 Goswamis, I've received the mercy of Srila Jiva Goswami. Somehow I feel that I also got some mercy from Srila Jiva Goswami in my preaching. So we're praying that we can continue on our bhakti path. Very close to Radha-Damodara is, where should we go? Okay, we go to Seva-kunja. Seva-kunja is a very sacred area. My Guru Maharaj visited Seva-kunja and he hesitated on the doorway and he said, actually, I'm not qualified to come in here. But we boldly go in and chat and like that. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. There is one of those places where the trees are bending over in ecstasy and separation. And there's a small temple there, very special temple. So it's said that the pujaris, they put out the articles in the evening, they put out the articles for Radha and Krishna that they can use at night. Betel, toothpicks, incense, all sorts of things. And it's said in the morning that they're all scattered. I was a little doubtful, but I just recently spoke to Yadava Prabhu. He went there once, and he was there when they opened the curtains first thing in the morning. And sure enough, all the things are all in disarray there. Those nighttime pastimes, confidential pastimes of Radha and Krishna, everyone leaves. If anyone stays there, in the morning they're found either dead or mad. Even the monkeys leave. Nobody stays in the Seva-kunja. So Seva-kunja is very, very special to our Gurudev. He explained it's a place of service, but what service? It's a place where Krishna serves Srimati Radhika. This is extraordinary. In general, we see the whole mood of Gaudiya Vaishnavism is that all the devotees are serving Krishna, like we see in this beautiful picture of Srimati Radhika, Krishna standing on a lotus flower, and Srimati Radhika is offering flowers at his lotus feet. So beautiful. But actually, the mood of Gaudiya Vaishnavas, following in the line of Thakur Bhaktivinoda and Saraswati Prabhupada, is that Krishna serves Srimati Radhika. Of course she serves him. Her whole life, totally service to Krishna. And Krishna is overwhelmed, absolutely overwhelmed. So he says, Naparyaham, I can't repay you. I'm indebted to you. So if one is indebted to somebody, what can they do? They have to serve them. So Krishna loves to serve the gopis. And Seva-kunja is especially that place where that's celebrated. That's a special place where Krishna is serving Srimati Radhika. And Srila Gurudev, he manifested the Seva-kunja painting. Actually, when I was in Mathura, there's another painting, another Seva-kunja painting, painted by one Indian artist. But Srila Gurudev wasn't. There's on top of the altar, there's a special small temple, and inside there is that painting. I used to go into that sometimes when I was really frustrated. I used to hide in that temple. But Srila Gurudev wasn't satisfied with that painting. And then over some time, he coached our Shamrani Didi, and she, excuse me, electronics not working that well for me today. So he coached our Shamarani to paint this amazing, stunning picture of Seva-kunja. In Seva-kunja also is Lalita Konda, where Lalita was thirsty. So Krishna, with his flute, usual way, he excavated a well there and satisfied her thirst. Lalita is very, very, very special associate, very bold. And then another place very close to Seva-kunja, just over the other side, is Imlitala. So Imlitala is actually right next to Gopinath Bhavan. Imli means tamarind. So tamarind it's actually quite sweet fruit, and it's used to make chutney, for example. And the leaves, they're made to make sabji. So there was a big tamarind tree there. And one day Srimati Radhika went there, and the tamarind, actually tamarind is used for cleaning. They use tamarind for cleaning brass. So she stepped on one of the fruits, and the fruit took the lac off her lotus feet. And she became very angry. She cursed the fruit, that no imli trees, no tamarind trees will ripen fruit in Vrindavan. Anyway, it's a special place. It's especially connected with Srimati Radhika. So one day, it may be during the Rasa dance or at some other time, Srimati Radhika was in Man. Krishna was looking for her and he couldn't find her. So he went to that place because he knew that this is very specially connected with Srimati Radhika. And he was remembering Srimati Radhika, and he began chanting her name in ecstasy, and he became so absorbed that he became golden, like Srimati Radhika. So Imlitala is the special place where Krishna first manifested his Gora form. And then Radha and the gopis came and they found, oh, golden Krishna. So our Srila Param Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, he's written Radha Vinod Bihari Ashtakam, explaining how Krishna becomes covered by the golden color of Srimati Radhika, either Radha Lingita, either when he's taken on the nature of Srimati Radhika by meditation, like that in separation, or when he's totally embraced by Srimati Radhika, he also takes on her golden color. So this is a very important place there. There's beautiful, there's a big courtyard there. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to come. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to come to stay there, not to stay there, but he was staying in Akrurghat, which is quite a ways away. And then he'd walk along Yamuna. At that time, Yamuna was running in a different path from now. He would come by Chaitanya Vishramghat. And then he would come to Imlitala, and he would sit looking over Yamuna and remembering pastimes, Radha and Krishna pastimes. So there's a murti of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there in the gate. He's sitting chanting japa and looking over Yamuna. Beautiful dioramas there. Beautiful diorama. Actually, on the wall outside, there's a diorama of Radha and Krishna. Krishna's combing Srimati Radhika's hair. It's like a copy of Sri Shamarani's painting. And inside, there's beautiful dioramas. There's one diorama, the Maha Abhishek, where all the inhabitants of Braj are giving Abhishek to Srimati Radhika, and she's crowned as the Queen of Vrindavan. Diorama of Srimati Radhika at Mansarovara, crying and crying, torrents of tears forming a lake. And all the gopis also gathered around her, her group of gopis also gathered around her in sorrow. And then many dioramas, beautiful dioramas of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And there is actually the original Imlitala, the original Imli tree is there. It seems to have left. It's totally protected. It's got metal casing on it. And there's some kind of, I don't know, plastic coating or something on it. But there's some places you can actually touch it. But there's also another tamarind tree there, which has grown up quite large. And that tamarind tree was actually planted by our Gurudev. So in Imlitala again, it's very, very closely connected with pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And then if we go back along Parikarama Marg, so Imlitala is right on Parikarama Marg. Next to Imlitala, going on the way of Parikarama, is Gopinath Bhavan. And then we go on 200-300 meters or yards. And then on the right-hand side is Srngara-vata and Nitai-vata, two places together. So Nitai-vata means that before Nityananda Prabhu went to, before he went to Gauramandal to join Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was staying in Vrindavan at this place, in the mood of cowherd boy, in the mood of a boy. He'd play in the dust with the other children. And then he would call out, Kota Kanai, where's my Kanai, where's my Kanai? He was in so much separation from Krishna, Nityananda Prabhu. In the mood that he's in, Sakyaras, mostly. So he's calling out, where's my Kanai, where's my Kanai? Kanai is a very, very sweet name for Krishna. And then a voice from the sky said, your Kanai is in Gauramandal. He started his Sankirtan pastimes. So then Nityananda Prabhu, he raced to Gauramandal. Then he joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there. So in Chaitanya Bhagavat describes very, very beautifully the meeting between Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. But also that's Nitai-vata. And actually there's a banyan tree, but the original tree under which there's the remains of that original tree. The tree's left, but there's the remains of the original tree there. But also Sringa means decoration. So this celebrates the time when during the rasa dance, Krishna, first of all, he called on his flute at Vangshivat, and the gopis came, and he was teasing them. Oh, why you come? You come to see the scenery, beautiful. Moon on the leaves of the trees is beautiful, isn't it? Now you should go back home. But he was teasing them because in Sanskrit, he's saying, this is a very dangerous time. There's dangerous animals here. You're very beautiful girls. So definitely you should go back home and don't stay here. But Sanskrit is such a language that when you put on the beginning of words, or the sandhi, how the words are joined together. So what he was really saying was, this is not at all a dangerous time. There's no dangerous animals here at all. You're very beautiful, Sumaja, very beautiful ladies with thin waists. So definitely you should not go back to Braj, but on the contrary, you should stay here. Anyway, he teased them, and then they were associating for some time. And then Srimati Radhika saw, on the one hand, the gopis were in Saubhagamad. They were intoxicated, not with material pride, but they're thinking that, oh, Krishna is with me, I'm so fortunate. And Krishna saw that there's no way that we can have rasa dance with them all in that mood. And at the same time, Srimati Radhika is seeing that, oh, Krishna's with all the other gopis, just like he's with me. So she was with Man. Krishna left in Man also. And the gopis were searching for him. But Radha and Krishna, they came around to Srngara-vata. And there, Krishna decorated Srimati Radhika's hair with flowers, Sringar, decoration. So in the courtyard there, there's the tree, Nitaivat, where Nityananda stayed. And then behind that tree, there's like I don't know. Anyway, there's a very small building, and in that building, there's this beautiful, beautiful painting of Radha and Krishna. Krishna is combing Srimati Radhika's hair, and Srimati Radhika is holding a mirror and looking back, and she's seeing the two of them in the mirror. And she's so happy. She's so happy to see this. Krishna's so happy to be combing and decorating. And she's so happy that he's doing this. It's a very, very intimate moment. And then just behind that building, there's a long, like a marble trough with fine sand in it. And that's actually the place. There was originally a tree there. And that was actually the tree, the Srngara-vata. Vat means banyan tree. So originally there was a tree there where Krishna actually decorated Srimati Radhika, but it was swept away in a flood long, long, long ago. So there's just, but the place is there to commemorate that. So these are some of these places are, I mean, so close to Gurudev's heart, so close to the heart of Srila Gurudev's Parikarama. Such nectarian pastimes there. Such a close, beautiful moods, beautiful pastimes, a very close connection with what Srila Gurudev actually wants to give us. So there, in a very, very, very few minutes, I've rattled through these places. I hope they'll forgive me and bless us with some of the moods that are preserved in those places. If we can just, meditate on visiting those places and offering obeisances and the dust there, and praying to those places, praying to the moods, praying to the pastimes, that we can get these moods. We'll be so fortunate. Hare Krishna. Vanchakapatubhasya kripasamudabhavata putitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo. Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Maharaji, thank you so much. That's beautiful. Second day in a row. Really appreciate you squeezing it all in, because I know you have a program straight after this one. So thank you. I have a quick question for you, Maharaj. Sripad Bhaktivedanta Tridandi Maharaj emphasized from the beginning of this Kartik month the importance of understanding how Gurudev placed the concept of us following the bridge basis, as in Upadestamrita's instruction, we follow the bridge basis. And Maharaj was stressing the emphasis on mood, on really cultivating mood. And he was saying that the more we hear about these pastimes, the more connected we get to them, the more we fill our hearts with this nectar, the quicker we dissipate our material desires through natural displacement. So he touched on, during the pastime of Radha and Krishna, where Radha left the rasa dance, he touched on, at the very end of that pastime, Radha was displaying many qualities of many different heroine type qualities. One of them he mentioned as Utkantika, and he mentioned some others. Would you kindly expand to help us understand some of those heroine qualities that Radha displayed to Krishna in that pastime?
I think you should ask Tridandi Maharaj. I mean, he's prepared for that.
Or any of her heroine qualities.
There's 8 pastimes. I mean, there's 8 qualities of the heroine in Braj Leela. And the Ashtasakis are the personification of all those 8 moods, like going on meeting with Krishna, or preparing to receive Krishna, and then becoming anxious when Krishna doesn't arrive, and then becoming despondent when he doesn't arrive, and becoming angry when when he does arrive with signs that he's been with somebody else. And in the mood when when he's separate, when Krishna has gone somewhere else. And then finally, Sadhina Bhartrika, which is Srimati Radhika's home mood, when she's actually subdued the hero. So Radha and Krishna, when they left together, Krishna was serving Srimati Radhika, but he was also conscious of all the other gopis. So there was actually some difference of mood between them. It's described in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimati Radhika is thinking that, oh, I'm with Krishna, but all my other Sakhis, they should be with me. I don't want to be here with him alone. I want that they should all be with me. She's so like open-hearted. It's not like, she's not jealous towards her own Sakhis. There may be some, jealousy, transcendental jealousy between different groups, which actually disappears when Krishna's not there. So she's thinking that I want all my Sakhis to be here with Krishna, with us. And Krishna's thinking, he can hear the gopis coming. They're searching for him. So he's thinking that, well, if they find the two of us together, they'll be so jealous. So everything will break up and there won't be any possibility of Rasalila. So he told Srimati Radhika, he said, look, let's move on. She said, oh, I can't, I'm tired, because she wanted the others to catch up with them. He said, okay. She was saying, okay, you can carry me. So he said, all right, get up on my shoulders. And as she began to do so, he just disappeared. It's mysterious. So when the other gopis caught up, she related to them as though she'd been proud, just like the other gopis who were in Saubhagamad, that she'd been proud and Krishna had left her because she was proud. But actually it was humility she was downplaying her own moods. Actually her mood was, which she might not have wanted to say in front of like Chandravali and the others, but her mood was really that she wanted all the other gopis, or all her party at least, to associate with Krishna. Krishna had arranged it in such a way, he couldn't, in that autumnal ras, Sharad ras, he couldn't leave openly with Srimati Radhika. He hid in a hidden way. He left in a hidden way. But how could they all kind of take on the mood and see Radha and Krishna as the center? So when they found Srimati Radhika, after she'd been abandoned, apparently abandoned, after Krishna had apparently abandoned her, so they found Srimati Radhika, and she's crying in so much separation that they understood that, like, for example, Chandravali, she can tolerate separation from Krishna. Like if if Krishna's in Chandravali's kunja and some of her other parrots find out, and Srimati Radhika sends one of her Sakhis to find Krishna. So the Sakhi comes in, Manjari comes in, says, oh, a great demon has come in. He's just about to kill your baby calf. And Krishna says to Chandravali, oh, excuse me, I'll just have to leave and I'll be back in a while. So she can tolerate, but Srimati Radhika can't tolerate. So when they all saw the depth and height and breadth of Srimati Radhika's separation, her love, they all became imbued with that love. So that's one of the characteristics of Mahabhav, that everybody who's around becomes saturated with that Mahabhav up to their capacity. So all of the others, they gave up their like sense of rivalry towards Srimati Radhika, and they were sympathizing completely and becoming like in harmony with her mood. And it was after that they all decided to go off to the banks of Yamuna and sing in separation, and that's where Gopi Gita comes. So Gopi Gita is the most important chapter in the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's 80,000 verses in Srimad Bhagavatam, and those 30 odd verses of Gopi Gita are they're the life and soul actually of Srimad Bhagavatam. Those are some of the moods.
Thank you, Marsh. That was beautiful. That was really delicious. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We have a question from our dear sister Chandrika Devi Dasi in very wet Wales. But luckily, she's in a nice dry house. Chandrika, Haribol.
Haribol. Dandavad Pranams Maharaj. Hope you're very well. You mentioned just now when you were talking about Srimati Radhika leaving the Ras dance, that she was leaving in Man. Then you mentioned also that Krishna also left in Man, and I'd only heard that I've heard from my Gurudev Sripad Bhaktivedanta Nemi Maharaja. One sweet story.
I didn't say that Krishna left in Man.
Oh, did you not?
No. He didn't leave in Man.
I must have been hearing things.
he saw, I mean, he could see what was happening. Krishna's expert. Expert means he can accomplish many things at the same time. So on the one hand, he saw that he had to deal with the gopis, all of the other gopis, who were in Seva-kunja. They were intoxicated in ecstasy that they're associating with Krishna. And in that mood, it wouldn't have been possible to have Rasa Leela with Radha and Krishna in the center. He also saw that Srimati Radhika was in Man and she was leaving, and he just left with her, but he wasn't in Man. He had nothing.
My apologies, I must have heard something else. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was arranging so many things. He was looking after the other, like cooling the other gopis off. He was taking care of Srimati Radhika, setting it all up so that in the end, they would all accept Srimati Radhika's mood as the home mood, and Rasa Leela would actually take place around Radha and Krishna.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj. Forgive me for mishearing you.
Hare Krishna Gandagan.
Thanks for clarifying that, Marsh. So we zoom across from wet Wales to, I assume, sunny California, to Manini Radha-Dasi. Didi, Hare Krishna, please ask your question.
Haribol, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
It's a bit foggy today, actually. We're channeling London. So I actually just had a quick question, because in the beginning, well, I'll ask my second question first because it's more about mood. My understanding about why Krishna also left Srimati Radhika, when she was going to climb on his shoulder, is actually because she was matching his mood of submission. And that to keep it interesting, then he took a contrary mood. I mean, I may not be saying this correctly, but I thought that was also part of the sort of interplay that had happened, at least on the surface, to create more drama and tension around their next meeting.
Maybe.
Is that okay?
Maybe. It's not the main mood.
Okay.
The main point is that he could hear the gopis coming, and he had to arrange in some way that all the gopis found Srimati Radhika in separation, that he could hide from all of them. Actually, his real intention was, in the when they were worshipping Kachayani Vrat, they had revealed themselves to him. He'd taken their clothes and he'd arranged in such a way that they revealed their beauty, female beauty, to him, but they hadn't revealed their minds and hearts. So Krishna actually wanted to hear from them how much they loved him and how much deeply at the depths of their love. And that's one of the reasons, one of the main reasons why he left, because he wanted to hear their utter surrender in separation. So Gopi Geet is, at the end of Gopi Geet, Gurudev says they were just ready to leave their bodies altogether, if I can say that about eternal. They were ready to leave this world. They were ready to die out of love for Krishna. They had nowhere. Krishna called them from their homes. They couldn't remember their homes. And now Krishna had left. They had nothing. They had absolutely nothing. And so they were totally revealing their hearts and minds and everything. And that's what Krishna wanted. And he explained that to them. When he came back, he said, I never left you. I was close. I just wanted to hear your beautiful prayers.
Haribol. Haribol. Okay, and then in the beginning of your talk, you were mentioning.
One second, Didi. Can I just ask a question related to the question you just asked? Because that was a great question. Marge, maybe you can expand on something Marge said about that pastime today. He said that, excuse me, I'll probably stumble a bit here because I'm not as familiar as you are with it. But Krishna asked Radharani to sit on his shoulder. Prior to that, he'd asked her, do you want to go to a flower bed, or I think there was another option, flower bed or somewhere else. Do you want to go to flower bed or continue walking? And Radharani replied in a Dakshin mood. She'd switched from Man to Dakshin, saying, I don't mind. And so then I think Krishna then disappeared, which set off her devastation. And the way he described it was how Didi was saying that it was in order to shift from that Dakshin mood. He was saying that when Radha and Krishna both have the same mood, it's the waves on the Shtaibav are not there. But when they have the contrary moves, it's really there. The waves are really rolling. So that was also part of the reason why he then disappeared. I don't know if that's correct or not, or I've got the wrong angle, but that.
How can I say Pujya Bhaktivedanta Nemi Maharaja is incorrect in what he says? I mean, you're both saying the same thing, so I accept. It's good.
Yeah, no, I just wondered if you wanted to expand on that.
No, okay. It's beautiful what he's saying. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, beautiful.
In Ras, one has to be for and one has to be against.
Yeah.
If both are for, then there's no, it's just Haribol, Haribol, oh, Haribol. And if they're both against, then nothing happens. So generally, Krishna is eager and the left-wing gopis are displaying some obstacles. But when the gopis become too eager, like when they first came to see him at Vangshivat, so they were very eager, and that's why Krishna displayed some contrariness. Same thing at Kurukshetra when they came. When they came to meet him, they were so eager to meet him. So then Krishna put up these funny questions. You know, why are you missing me? Don't you know that I'm the Supreme Personality of Godhead? What? Like this. So yeah, that's there. Manini Radha, you had a second question.
Yeah, this one was actually just related to, in the beginning of your talk, you were mentioning a photo of Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada cooking chapatis, and I wondered if this was the photo that you were going to show, or if this is a different one.
I've never seen that picture. Actually, it's beautiful.
I think it's a painting actually, but I happen to have had
well,
it.
It's definitely not a photo.
No, it's not a photo. It's a painting. I don't know who did it, but I saw it and I thought, wow, it's so nice. I think it is. I think that's Srila Gurudev younger making chapati.
Yeah.
I just wanted
to come and see. He used to come and see Gurudev.
Haribol.
Gurudev was very moved. When I said that, I mentioned that at Prabhupada's disappearance in Varshana, the first year we were with Gurudev in '96. So somebody afterwards told me, Gurudev started crying. He said, oh, I will give him sannyas and he'll travel everywhere and do so much. Mm-hmm. It's very, I mean, they had such a deep relationship. My Guru Maharaj wrote to Gurudev and said, our relationship is based on spontaneous love, just like when I first saw my Guru Maharaj. That was the first time I saw love. So it's a very, very deep relation. I mean, people who try to interfere in that relationship and say, oh, anyway, blah, 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 whatever they do say. Oof, it's so foolish, so foolish. Hare Krishna.
Margie, before we sing, Manini Radha is going to be singing Damodarastakam in a moment. I just wanted to ask you something about how in the Ras Leela, Maharaj Gem was describing today about the so-called disharmony between the different groups of gopis. Of course, it's a very different disharmony than the disharmony on this planet. But it's also very interesting that Krishna arranges all these pastimes actually that bring harmony to the gopis, because the whole idea is that he wants Radha to be at the center of the glorification of the Rasa Leela. I just wondered, I mean, maybe it's speculation and maybe you might think it's an inappropriate question, but and by all means tell me if it is. But given the disunity that is evident between many sanghas, not just our own sangha, but sanghas and within sanghas, and the desire amongst so many devotees to bring harmony to the sanghas, what do you think we can learn from that pastime in relation to fulfilling the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is to propagate the holy name together?
I think they're quite different. I mean, the sanghas split up when our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Brahma Puri Goswami, Srila Bhakti Rakshak, Srila Goswami, and so on. They all lived in one place for some time, and then they kind of disbanded, and then they were preaching separately. It's not because of I remember somebody telling Gurudev, he wanted to unite all the sanghas, and Gurudev said, just don't bother, don't try. He said, if we can't do it, how are you going to do it? There are different moods, different, like, for example, there are different groups who are never going to accept the mood in our sangha following the way that Srila Gurudev displayed Rasik pastimes. They say that it's too intimate. Gurudev didn't display intimate pastimes in the sense of, when Radha and Krishna are together. He didn't describe those pastimes, but he described their very beautiful moods. But other groups are not going to do that. Either they think that it's improper, or, like at least one group I can think of, major group, the leaders of that group, they feel threatened. I remember, I mean, I'd been with Gurudev like 3-4 years, and I traveled in Russia, first year that I traveled in Russia. So my translator said, I've traveled with all the ISKCON gurus and GBCs, none of them could give Harikatha like you're giving. So, and I mean, I was nothing, I'd just been with Gurudev just for a short while. So they feel threatened. So there's no way that the organizations, it's possible for individuals, mature individuals, who actually have at least Majjhimadhikari mood, it's possible for them to cooperate to some extent, insofar as they can get free from the bonds and shackles of belonging, quote unquote, belonging to particular groups. To some extent, it may be possible, but the organizations as a whole, I don't think it's possible. I don't see any reason to think that it's possible. My Guru Maharaj wanted to do it. He said, we can all conjointly serve and I'll do the managing. So they didn't take it up. If Prabhupada couldn't do it and Gurudev couldn't do it, I think it's best that we do what we can. And if we have something very, very authentic, then others will also take part.
Thanks, Maharaj. Thank you so much for your sweet Katha, Maharaj. I'm just conscious you've got 2 minutes to your next.
Yeah, I'm going.
Probably need a drink. So thank you so much. Dandavat pranams.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your kind attention and the kind invitation as well.
Thank you so much.
Putitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Maharaj.
Dandavat pranams, Maharaji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Okay, Didi, please, Damodaraskam, thank you.
Okay, I pasted the words in chat. I had to do it like verse by verse because you're right. For some reason, it may be just not enough characters. I just thought I'd hold this up. Okay. I don't know if you can see it. All right. Namam Vishvaram Sachidananda Rupam Lasad Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Jashoda Biyolukala Davamanam Param Ristamachanta Tojutya Gopya Rudantam Muhunetra Yugmam Rejantam Karamboja yugmena shantanka netram. Oh, sorry. Muhusvasa kampa trire kanka kanta. Stita graiva damodaram bhaktivadam. Iti driksvalila virananda kunde. Svagosham nimadyantam akyapayantam. Tadiyet sitagin subhaktejitadvam. Puna prematastam satavriti vande. Varam deva moksham na moksham vadimva. Nachanyam vrineham varisarapiha. Idam te vapurnata gopalabalam. Sadame manasya virasam kimanyahi. Idam te mukam bojam avyakta nihiler. Vritam kuntalai snigdharaktes chagopya. Muhus chumbitam bimbaraktadaramehi. Manaya savirastam alam lakshalavahi. Namadeva Damodara Nanta Vishnu. Prasida Prabodhuka Jalabdi Magnam. Kripa Dristi Vrisyati Dinam Batanu. Grihane Shamamagnyam Medapsidrisya. Kuveratma Jobada Murchaiva Yadva. Vayamochita bhakti bhajal krita ucha. Tata prema bhaktim svakam me priyacha. Namokshe graho mesti damodareha. Namaste studamni spura dipti damne. Tvadiyo tarayata vishvasya damne. Namo Radhikaya Tvadhyaya Priyaye. Namo Radhikaya Tvadhyaya Priyaye. Namo Nanta Lilaya Devaya Tubhyam. Namam Ishvaram Sachidananda Rupam. Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. Yashoda Biyoduka Tavamanam. Param Ristamatiantato Jutya Gopya. Jaya Radhe Damodara Radhe Damodara Radhe. Jaya Radhe Damodara Radhe Damodara Radhe. Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva. Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Haribo 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 Nitai Gora Haribo Nitai Gora Haribo 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 Gora Haribo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai, thank you for giving my error. I'll get better at pronouncing everything.
Beautiful, beautiful,
beautiful.
Beautiful.
I could do the Jai Dvani if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Shri Shri Guru Garanga Gandadvika Giridhari Radha Vinod Vihari Ji Ki Jai. Om Vishnu Parastota Sata Shri Shri La Bhaktivedanta Madhav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravista Om Vishnu Parastota Sata Shri Shri La Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravista Om Vishnu Parastota Sata Shri Shri La Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravista Om Vishnu Pad Astota Sata Shri Shri La Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravista Om Vishnu Pad Astota Sata Shri Shri La Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravista Om Vishnu Pada Stotra Sata Shri Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravista Param Bhagavat Pravada Shri Srila Gaura Kisora Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravista Shri Srila Sachit Ananda Bhaktivinoda Thakura Ki Jai. Nitya Lila Pravista Vaishnav Sarvabhaum Shri Srila Jagannatha Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Gaudiya Vedanta Acharya Shri Srila Baladev Vidya Bhushana Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura Ki Jai. Srila Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Traya Ki Jai. Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunatha Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunatha Sat Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Swarup Damodar Raya Ramanandadi Shri Gaura Parsada Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakura Ki Jai. Prema se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Antadvip Mayapur Shimantadvip Godrumadvip Majidvip Koladvip Pratudvipa Janudvipa Modra Drumadvip Rudravip Patmaka Shri Navadvip Dam Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dvara Savanatmaka Shri Rajmandala Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kun Shamakun Ganga Jamuna Tulasi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shrimati Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya Ki Jai. Shri Gopishvara Mahadev Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakraju Ki Jai. Shri Shatra Mandala Ki Jai. Sarvabhigna Vinasakari Shri Nirasingha Dev Ki Jai. Bhakta Pravara Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Charidam Ki Jai. Chari Sampradaya Ki Jai. Chari Acharya Ki Jai. Shri Shri Keshavaji Gaudiya Mat O Shri Shri Keshavaji Gaudiya Mat O Tat Shakamat Samuha Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Anatakota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nittai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhavyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hari Bol.
Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much, Didi. You've got such a beautiful voice. It's absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. It felt really, it felt like I was in Krishna Balaram and ISKCON in Vrindavan. It was very nice. I just wanted to announce one thing, is that tomorrow Sripad Bhaktivedanta Ashram Maharaji is going to join us at the same time tomorrow to take us on tour, day 5 of our tour, and he will lead that tomorrow. So I'm really looking forward to you all joining tomorrow. If you have any questions that weren't unanswered today, please bring them back tomorrow and we'll try and answer them. So thank you so much for your time. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Radhe Radhe, Shila Gurudev Ki Jai, Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai.